So couple practical things that this is our last Friday session for a while, and we're taking a 1-week break next week, which quite honestly, I'm sort of like, why did I say take a break? This is what I love the most in my week. It's like, as I say that, I realize if we still wanted to do a Friday session next week, I would do it because I love doing this. So maybe we'll send out an email to you guys later with, and we'll just add, we can, I think, use the same Zoom link. So I'm open to doing that. We're going to try in June to do Tuesdays at this time. And if it's not as successful in terms of people being able to come, we'll go back to Fridays. I mean, honestly, originally, my work days are supposed to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but since nothing is as it is supposed to be anymore, like, okay, whatever works. So if Friday is really what works best, we'll go back to that. I'm so thrilled that there's this kind of ongoing cohort of us who keep returning, and it's just wonderful. And equally wonderful that there are new people joining and coming in and out. I'm appreciating the flow of all this a lot. So welcome to people who have not joined before. Welcome to people who have joined before. Yeah, this is just, I'm so thrilled that this is happening and that it seems to be working to do all sorts of things in this strange new way that has become our normal. So I think everybody who's here today, except for, well, Ginny and Kathleen have not been in this class before, but I know you've both been in Zoom meetings before, so you know the scoop that
I've been here before.
Oh yeah. If you have background noise, please mute yourself. When you go to speak, please remember to unmute yourself. We can since we can most of the time see each other, just raise your hand so that we'll call on each other. And I think those are the main practical details I wanted to mention. I know that Gail has been sending out evaluations. Gail, I'm not actually sure if they get them every week or how that works.
Every week, and invite new people. If you haven't filled it out before, you're welcome to fill it out. Please do fill it out. If you filled it out before but have new feedback, you're welcome to do it again. Or you're also welcome to just send us feedback directly if you want as well. So
great. And also let us know if you are not on our MERI Center mailing list and would like to be, shoot us an email either along with your evaluation or just shoot us an email and let us know, because the MERI Center, MERI, is the Center for Education and Palliative Care at UCSF, and part of our mission and our work is to do community events. Poetry is one of the things that we believe is part of palliative care. But there are lots of other programs and events that the MERI Center does and sponsors. Right now there's a, Judy Long, who's our chaplain, does ongoing resiliency courses online for caregivers, which are amazing. She's an incredible wise person who's been doing this work for a long time. I'm doing these cohorts, these 3-week workshops on end-of-life caregiving in collaboration with Commonweal, that we're in our 2nd cohort. There'll be a 3rd one this summer. So there's a lot going on through the MERI Center, and it's also a great website just for resources. There are a lot of resources around what's going on with COVID for resiliency and information information. So if you want to be on our mailing list, let us know. And enough of those kind of details, because we're here to do poetry. And the way we start this session is that we just go around and introduce each other, ourselves, with just our name, where we are in the world right now. And this morning, I'd love to invite you to, as well as your name and where you are, if you were an animal or a plant this morning, what would you be? So I'm going to start. I'm going to go around. We're all sitting around a table here, around a circle, and I'm going to call on people as I see them on my screen going around the circle. And Ginny. So a lot of the poems today are about how we talk about things that bring up sadness and grief, including poems about dealing with dying. And I love this poem by Elizabeth Berg called Talk Before Sleep. I like to think that she looked out the window one last time the night she died and saw with a new understanding the placement of the stars. I like to think something incomprehensibly vast and complex moved into her soul at that moment, and that it, not pathology, was what took her breath away. Is there a word or a line in that short poem that resonates with you?
Could you read it once more, Wayne?
Sure. I like to think that she looked out the window one last time before she died, the night she died. Let's start again. I like to think that she looked out the window one last time the night she died and saw with a new understanding the placement of the stars. I like to think something incomprehensibly vast and complex moved into her soul at that moment, and that it, not pathology, was what took her breath away. Kathleen, you're muted.
Incomprehensibly vast.
Wendy?
Right now, was what took her breath away.
Anita, you're muted if you're trying to talk.
I agree, was what took her breath away. So critical.
Yeah. I would say a new understanding.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
I would say moved into her soul at that moment.
I would say vastly complex moved into her soul.
I would say the term I like to think that
I've just found this little poem so useful in so many situations in terms of what we imagine when we're at the bedside. You know, so again, I think just to say that we do this work because listening to words, listening to poems and the images they evoke for all of us, we all resonate with something different, and yet it inspires something and surprises us sometimes and allows us to think about things in a different way. again, because we are in a time of such an incredible mix of sadness, excuse me, grief, and still all the silver linings and all the positive things that are happening on some level because of this pandemic, the various tragic situations that are going on in the world. This is one of my favorite poems by Mark Nepo, who is one of my favorite poets. And it's called Adrift. So listen for a line or the words or the feeling that resonates with you, that makes you want to know more about it. Adrift. Everything is beautiful, and I am so sad. This is how the heart makes a duet of wonder and grief. The light spraying through the lace of the fern is as delicate as the fibers of memory forming their web around the knot in my throat. The breeze makes the birds move from branch to branch as this ache makes me look for those I've lost in the next room, in the next song, in the laugh of the next stranger. In the very center, under it all, what we have that no one can take away, and all that we've lost, face each other. It is there that I'm adrift, feeling punctured by a holiness that exists inside everything. I am so sad, and everything is beautiful. So what are you most curious about or resonating with in Mark Nepo's poem?
I resonated with this is how the heart works.
Yeah. How the heart makes a duet of wonder and grief.
Yes, the duality of that is what we all have to master in this life. The beauty of life and the sadness of life. Right? Since we're born, we begin our sadness, separation.
Yeah, kind of on the same note, I guess I'm kind of intrigued by, but just what we have that no one can take away, and all that we've lost face each other.
Yeah.
Feeling punctured by a holiness.
Yeah. You want to say more about that, Coke?
It feels paradoxical, and it also resonates.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The duet of wonder and grief is not a resonation. I actually can't, I don't understand grief in relation to wonder. Either they are simultaneous or, yeah, agree I can't make them mesh in that sentence. And so that's very interesting when it comes because I also like his poetry. And oh, what are you doing here?
Sue, go ahead.
Yeah. The first line, everything is beautiful and I am so sad is so, I mean, first of all, the first thing that pops into my head is April is the cruelest month. Because it's like, yeah, it's April, it's supposed to be beautiful, and don't talk about the backside of April. But I find a relief in the I am so sad, sort of breaking the expectation that it's beautiful and you better just have beautiful feelings.
So I'm going to suggest that we use either the line that spoke to us most directly as a prompt, or everything is beautiful, or I am so sad, or in the very center. But really, I mean, any of those will work, or if there's a word or a line that really jumped out at you, use that as your starting point as a prompt, and we will do a 3-minute write. So as always, 3 minutes is a short time, but we all know that something comes through in 3 minutes, amazingly enough. So I'm wondering if someone has some lines they're willing to share. So I'm going to read another poem. I realize I often get shy about reading my own work. I wanted to encourage us to use poem making really as a way to respond to our own sorrows, to our own grief, to all that comes up for all of us, not only now, but maybe especially now. This was a poem that I wrote after being at the bedside of the husband of a dear friend, and he was also a friend who died at home. And it's always, I mean, I've attended many deaths in my time doing this work over the last 30 years as a midwife to the dying, but some of them just have a particular feeling to them. So this is called Touching Death. I touched death today, arriving moments after the last wisp of air from the final exhalation blew into the light wind above Paradise Cove, a fitting place for the dissolution of the elements. Golden yellow skin, jaundice from the French jaune, still warm for a while longer as spirit exited slowly, so slowly, from the soft shell of a venerable, gentle man. Looking out to the deep blue of the bay, the gray blue of the sky, the dark steel of the bridge, my aging hand on his bony chest, in life and in death, reminding me again and again how thin the veils, how fragile the body, how sacred each in-breath, and how strong that which resides within. Call it spirit, life force, God. In this case, call it Larry. Larry was quite a guy. A rabid Republican married to a radical Democrat. And he had an incredibly sweet heart. So I want to suggest that you think of someone in your life who has died, who is no longer here. Or it could be an animal who is no longer here. Some being that you had some kind of connection to, relationship with. And if you could, what is one thing that you might say to them now, or that you wish you had said to them? And let's just take 3 minutes to see what comes through in writing something. We can hear someone writing furiously. Anne, that must be you. We're hearing your pen.
Oh no, I thought I muted.
It's okay. Is someone willing to share? So once again, just encouraging us all to use poem making as a way to express things that maybe we didn't get to express. Not always about those who have died, about all sorts of things that go on in our lives that are hard to allow into our heart sometimes. And I just always find it amazing how if you don't think about it too much, but put the pen to paper, or even put your fingers to the to the keyboard, sometimes things come through that surprise us in ways that are helpful. I know Eric Millerin, who couldn't be with us today, but has been to several of these sessions. He told me this week that his neighbor died, and his neighbor's husband said to him, "Well, you seem to be doing such a good job dealing with your grief." And Eric said to him, "I've learned how to write poems." Like, okay, yeah, that's really good. So I'm going to end with this wonderful little poem by Raymond Carver called Late Fragment. And did you get what you wanted from this life, even so? I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. And did you get what you wanted from this life, even so? I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on this earth. May we all feel ourselves beloved on this earth, even in the midst of all the pain and all the sorrow and all the suffering and all the sadness. Everything is beautiful, and we are so sad. And allowing ourselves to feel is a really good thing. So thank you all again just so much for bringing your belovedness and your tears and your fears and your joys and your sorrows and all of you to this amazing time together. I'm just so, so grateful to each and every one of you for your presence and your words. And may we all stay safe and as open in our hearts as we can be. Have a wonderful week. And we will send out an email to join together next Friday for whoever wants to. So thank you, thank you, thank you.